Welcome back. I now officially open the public meetings held under the Planning Act and the Municipal Act. I advise all attendants that the local planning tribunal has the power under the Planning Act to dismiss an appeal to either the zoning bylaw and/or an official plan amendment if the appellant does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or does not make written submission to Norfolk County Council before the zoning bylaw is passed and/or the official plan amendment is adopted. This is staff report DCS 1852. An application has been received to amend the Norfolk County official plan to permit the severance of 3 residential lots, whereas section 9632AI requires the submission of draft plan of subdivision. In addition, an application has been received to rezone the subject lands from agriculture zone to hamlet residential zone and to seek relief of 11.34 meters from the required minimum lot frontage of 30 meters. This is to permit a minimum lot frontage of 18.67 meters. Judith Matten and John Reed and agent Jason Uhas has put forth the application affecting the lands described as part of Lot 20, Concession 1, and this is a geographic township of Houghton. Matt Vaughn is seated and ready to go, so we will hear his report. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much. This application before you is situated on the corner of Norfolk County Road 28 and Glenmire Road. It's within the hamlet of Glenmire. As Mr. Mayor said, the application before you is for an official plan amendment to permit the severance of 3 lots. Whenever you go above 2, it's required to go through a plan of subdivision, so they are seeking relief from our official plan policy for that, and then also for the reduced the frontage of one of the lots. The subject lands are designated hamlet, and a part of them are currently zoned hamlet residential zone, and the other part is zoned agriculture, which they're proposing to make consistent with the rest of the hamlet. This is a layout of the lotting fabric that they're proposing. So as you can see, the lots are all around an acre in size. Planning staff have reviewed the policies of the provincial policy statement and our official plan, and can confirm that this application is consistent with the PPS and meets the intent of our official plan and zoning bylaw, and therefore support it and suggest approval. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Matt. Questions, Councillor Black, please?
Thank you. Mayor Luke, through you to Matt. Just looking at the map, and I see another one there. Those are the 3 lots that we're approving, just those 3?
That's correct.
Yeah, but then if you look at the other map, it's got the hamlet boundary and that red line there. So that's all the retained part? Is that what that is? All the large part?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, this is the farm right here.
Okay.
So what council is considering today is an official plan amendment and zoning bylaw amendment that affects only this portion of the lands. Just the remainder.
Okay. Yeah, but what about, I mean, the hamlet does go right across that sliver, you know, from the south to the north. And then there's another piece of property there. Could that ultimately be severed or boundary adjustment so existing lots could extend the depth of their lot at some time?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, as part of our official plan review process, part of what we looked at in the hamlet areas was both looking at expanding and reducing some of the designated areas. That particular area that you've identified was approved by council to be reduced just to the back of those lots. Right. And OPR is currently still with the province for review. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wonder about that. But is there another lot that could be taken off there? There is an area of the farm that comes out to Norfolk County Road 28 in this location, but I believe it's one of the few places they still have access to the rest of the farm, so they may want to retain that for access. Alrighty. Yeah. Thanks very much. Welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions for Matt? Councillor Columbus?
Perhaps it's too early for this question, but a lot of times when we develop alongside the hamlets of Glenmire, South Middleton, Nixon, there's a need for overhead streetlights. And that comes in at a later date, but will the developer be asked to contribute to overhead streetlights in this case?
Through the mayor to council, yes, that would be something that would be considered as part of the development. This is just an official plan amendment, if I'm not mistaken. And so at this point, that's not something we would require, but it's absolutely something that we would require them to review and determine when they come forward in the future.
Okay. And Matt, top of page 53 of the agenda package talks Canada Post about having a mailbox in Vanessa. And I just wondered why Vanessa?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that was a typo.
Okay.
It'll be a long drive.
Oh, Councillor Columbus. Oh, boy. Any other questions for our planner? Not at this time, council. I don't believe the applicants are here, but certainly the agent, excuse me, Mr. Uhas is here on behalf of the applicants. I would like to invite anyone at this time to come forward that wishes to speak in favor of the application, and certainly we always extend courtesy to the applicant or agent. If you wish to come to the microphone to speak, you can. Mr. Uhas, that's up to you. There's a little blue button on the right-hand side of that box. If you push it, we'll be delighted to hear from you.
Essentially, Mr. Mayor, that the applicant is wishing to create these 3 lots. We're in favor of the report written by Planner Vaughn, and I am here to answer any questions if the council does have that.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the agent at this time? There may be some later, who knows, if you want to take a seat, and we'll continue with the process. Is there anyone else in attendance that wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone in attendance this evening that wishes to speak in opposition or in general to this application? Anything further from council? I will need a motion. Councillor Geisens has moved. Councillor Wells has seconded that we close this public meeting. Discussion, those in favor? That is carried. Recommendation from staff is on 51. What is your desire? Councillor Geisens, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to move the recommendations on page 51 to allow for those 3 lots. Thank you.
Thank you. A seconder. Councillor Columbus. Geisens has moved. Columbus has seconded that this application of Matten and Reed on 264 Plowman's Line in Tilsonburg that affects lands described as Part Lot 20, Concession 1. This is in the geographic township of Houghton of Norfolk County. This is to amend the Norfolk County Official Plan and the Norfolk County Zoning Bylaw 1Z 2014. The file numbers are in front of you, and it is recommended that it be approved for reasons as set out in 1852 report, and that public input has been received for this application and therefore will be considered as part of this decision. Discussion on the recommendation for approval. I hear none. Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, Jason. Have a good evening. We have 2 items of business left to do. I am going to bylaws. Bylaws start on page 67. It's been moved by Wells, seconded by Geisens. The bylaw 2018-41, bylaws 2018-43 to bylaw 2018-46 inclusive, bylaw 8 OP 2018 and bylaw 37 Z 2018, that's the previous application, be passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, and affixed with our corporate seal. Discussion? Those in favor? That's carried. That looks after bylaws, Mr. Clerk. Thank you. And finally, our confirming bylaw moves by, Mr. Wells is just, I'll need another mover. Oh, you are here, then I will go with you. Councillor Wells has moved, Councillor Oliver has seconded that bylaw 2018-47, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of Norfolk County at this council meeting held on the 8th day of May 2018, be passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, and affixed with our corporate seal.